You're listening to the Breakaway Wealth podcast, the show that helps you build wealth faster, think outside the box, and break out of the herd. Here's your host, Jim Oliver.
Welcome back, Breakaway Wealth. I'm your host, Jim Oliver, and with me today, Blair Gatchel. Blair, welcome.
Hey, thanks a lot, Jim. I'm really thrilled to be here.
I am excited that you're here because I'll tell you what we're going to talk about today is going to blow people's minds. And, I'll tell you something funny happened. If the NSA shuts this down, this interview, then you'll know, okay? But I meet this woman and online, and I'm traveling through Minnesota on my way to Hawaii. Now, why Florida to Minnesota, Hawaii? You have to ask Delta that. So,
that's a good one.
But I'm there and I don't realize that she's there. So we start chatting, and then I realize she's in Minnesota. But she says, Jim, I've been using AI for 6 years that people don't have any idea. And I can't tell you what I do or who I work for. But the stuff that we're doing would blow the public's mind. Now, I'm saying that because, there's somebody at my door. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm saying that because people think, Chat GPT, Perplexity, Gronk, whatever the other one is, Grok or Gronk?
Gronk. Yeah, Gronk.
Yeah. Is, that's what AI is. That's not what AI is it, Blair?
No, there's a lot of different.
It's not even that's like you might as well just Google something, right? I mean, it's like it's like a fancy search of the internet. But what we're going to talk about today is next level stuff. And so I guess I'm getting ahead of myself, Blair, because I didn't even give you a chance to introduce yourself. So let's back up, Jim, ADHD Jim, and let's have you introduce yourself before I have all these questions.
You're speaking my language with the ADD there too. So definitely we'll communicate on that level. So I'm Blair Gatchel. I'm with a company called Breva. You can find us at Breva.ai. We're a small fintech startup. We have an AI CFO named Bree that we can meet here in a little bit if you'd like to. Bree coaches, trains, supports small business owners to be better operators of their franchise. There's rules to the small business finance game. Not everybody knows the rules. And if you don't know the rules, you're at a serious competitive disadvantage. So
let's talk about that, Blair, because, I think I mentioned last week or on one of the recordings or one of the live shows is a book called The Science of Getting Rich, okay, by Walter Waddles. And he says there's a formula. And people go, there's no formula for getting. There's a formula for this stuff. To run a business, there's a formula. Once you know the answer to the equation, and by the way, and then you need somebody to bounce it off of, right? I have a great guy, Stan Sherman, runs Divvy Services, and Stan, if you give Stan books, he will tear them apart, right? But what if I don't need Stan? Okay, because Stan's got a lot of money. He's expensive, so. All right.
Sorry,
so
Stan.
Talk about that formula, because you're right. I mean, the reason people buy franchises because there's a system. The reason that people are successful in business is there's a system. When one of my businesses, I remember I came to the guy that was running it, the CEO, and I said, "Hey, what's our margins? What are our contracts like?" And it just depends. It just, we don't have a contract with these vendors. We do with these customers. We don't with these. And our margins are all over the board. Okay. The guy that, by the way, so listen closely what I'm going to say. The guy that replaced him to run the company, he had contracts and he could tell me that it was 24% was our margins.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't know those things and you don't have those things, you're not going to have a business very long, right? No. And so, Blair, talk about the formula that you've seen, that you've educated, or how did you tell me the origin story of Bree?
Yeah, so we Breva actually started as a balance sheet lender, and we were going to be a CDFI, Community Development Financial Institution. And what we found out is we didn't have insights into the health of the business. So we didn't know if there was somebody was having trouble until they were late on a payment. And you know,
That's a
we could
good
have
time.
helped them, right? We could have,
Yeah.
that's a good sign, but then it's too late, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what we figured out is what people actually want. Think about it like a crystal ball and a physician. So in preventative care, think about it's preventative care. Let's identify, first off, let's look at a business and the health of a business. So we have an AI cash flow underwriting engine. We don't underwrite loans. We're not a balance sheet lender or any of that now, but we want to look at the health of the business the way a capital provider would. And you can't manage what you don't measure. So we have a algorithmic measure of financial health. You got to have a target to shoot at too, right? So, let's start figuring out how we can improve the financial health of the business. And let's identify leading challenges. So what could potentially be a challenge in the future so we know how we can deal with it effectively in time and quite frankly, in a cost-effective manner as well. Cash flows, right? What causes businesses to fail? Cash flow problems.
Yeah.
Right. So let's get better at managing cash flow.
Yeah.
To your point, I think the ex-CEO didn't speak business, right?
No.
In finance is the language of business. You can talk about products. You can talk. We're a tech startup. We talk to a lot of venture capitalists. I talked to one, had a great point. She does mostly stuff with like NASA and Department of Defense stuff, literally dealing with rocket scientists here. I mean, literally. Somebody asked her for $10 million and didn't couch it in business. It was all tech. I mean, her question was, yeah, that's all great. How are you going to make me money? It wasn't couched in terms of finance.
It's funny because when I talk to people about, hey, the way to financial freedom is real estate and businesses. And by the way, when I say real estate, if you are investing in real estate and you have, I don't care if you have 10 units or 10,000 units, you're in the real estate business. So you're running a business. Yep. You're not a real estate investor. There's no difference between a real estate investor and running a business. It's the same thing.
Right.
I had somebody send me a listing for a farm, 2 farms in the last, I'm from LA, so I want to be in the farming business. No, I'm just kidding.
Totally makes sense.
But this farm here in Fort Myers, Florida, and they want like $4 million for this farm. And I'm like, I don't care if it's 40 million. Just tell me how much it's making and let me see the books, right? Like,
yeah, right.
Yeah. You want to go look at the farm? No, I don't want to look at the farm. I want to look at the books. Then I'll look at the farm.
Right.
Like, why would I want to look at the farm? I don't want to fall in love. I mean, and so
but the grass is green, but you want to know if the balance sheet is.
That's all I care about. Then we'll go check out whether my beliefs align with the, how the sustainable soil. And look, if the thing is making enough money, I can deal with the soil. I can deal with any problems. But what I look for is potential, sure. But is it making money now? Because I'm not trying to save anybody, right? I'm not trying to, I'm not the messiah of the business that I'm just going to come up and I can turn a loser into a winner. I want somebody who has a winner. They want to sell it, and I can make it even a bigger winner.
Right.
That's pretty simple. So talk to me about, so we kind of talked a little bit about what people are missing. They don't have a system, a formula. They don't have how do, if you don't have a Stan Sherman to call and have him rip through your books and analyze the deal. But even like with this farm, can your system, if I said, hey, I want to buy this farm, here are the books. Will your system tear that apart and tell me, here are all the questions to ask? Here are my concerns. Here are the potential opportunities. Here are the, do a SWOT, and not a SWOT analysis because I don't really like that, but like a dangers, opportunities, strengths type of thing for me.
So, something like a quality of earnings report, right? I mean, if you're
Perfect.
going to, yeah, if you're going to be acquiring that business, you're really interested in the quality of those earnings. And to
Yeah.
your point before, under contract, not under contract, certainly a big difference in terms of the quality of those earnings. That's
Absolutely.
exactly the kind of things that analytics and AI does, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Surance in one of your previous episodes was talking about, first off, he said, stop experimenting and start doing, which I absolutely agree with. And then he started talking about the efficiency, doing more, doing it faster, and doing it better. And that's what AI does. I don't see it in terms of replacing people. I want to make your process even more effective and even more efficient. So instead of going to, pouring through the books or having somebody else pour through the books to find that needle in a haystack, let Bree, present that to you. This is what you need to be looking for. And if you think about, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. You go ahead.
Transparency and certainty. If
Yeah.
you think about the impact of transparency and certainty in an M&A process. So let's make sure everybody knows exactly what's being bought and there's certainty in that. So it's not about sending Excel spreadsheets, right, where there's a keystroke error. Let's get that directly from the source systems. AI, we can rebuild the bank statements, for example, from the transactions. So you know exactly what's going on. And valuation isn't hard. The valuation techniques are known, right? So you can even build, you can choose, and then y'all can argue about which valuation technique you want to use, but you can build that in there and at least have a starting point on where those discussions, those negotiations go. And if you think about leveling that playing field too, there's a lot of businesses out there that are being acquired by private equity. You can love that or hate that. But when they're buying a business that probably isn't an accounting firm, there could be a different level of financial knowledge and expertise there, right? So AI can kind of level that playing field too. And so what's a fair valuation? And you could even get more as a seller, and the buyer would be willing to pay more because there's certainty, right? There's less risk involved in the process. And what I think might even be even more important is you got to protect that investment. You got to manage that investment post acquisition.
Yeah.
Right. So let's upskill whatever manager you're going to hire to manage your business, and let's give you analytics about what do you need to know, what do you need to deal with right now,
So
and let's make that really fast and efficient.
No, I have so many questions. I could talk about this for 4 hours.
Me too.
Is you said something back. You said AI is not going to replace people. I think it's going to replace the people that you're paying way too much money to give you bad information. And
Yeah.
and what I mean by that is, I could look at a business. You could look at a business. You've done this enough times. I've done it enough times, and I can come up with some good questions. I could come
Right.
up with some good, hey, I need to see this. I need to see that. I could, to 95% of the people out there, I can look really smart. All my questions. Wow, Jim's done this before. He sounds like he's an expert, right? And if I've done it 30 times, well, that probably is more than most people, but I've acquired a business more than 30 times. But AI could have 100,000 examples of that, right? Like more than you could get in your lifetime. And the person that you're hiring as an expert, who probably isn't, and is super expensive, by the way, they're going to give you the basic stuff. They're not going to be able to say, hey, go back and everything that you know about me and everything you know about my portfolio, my businesses, where does this fit? And we talked a little bit about something offline, is you don't just get one at bat. If you only get one at bat, then good luck, right?
Yeah.
But if you get 10 at bats, you can hit 700. But
Right.
what if you had a tool that would make you hit 800? Now you think, well, that's just one more. No, it's not one more. It's
Yeah.
do the math, right? That's a
Yeah.
big difference. 800 to 800 is massive, and it's worth whatever you got to pay to go from 700 to 800.
Yeah.
And, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the point. And it's contextual, right? So, we were talking about golf club analysis before, and
Yeah.
ChatGPT uses generic stuff, right? Because it's not contextual. If you loaded up a bunch of data about your swing and, your game, you probably get a little more contextual advice. So, this is all about the business's data. And we call it at the point of friction. It's not generic advice. It's what do I need to know right now to make the most informed decision that I can make? And, what do I need to know about in the future? And there's a evolution there to become, you really want to know and own the business, right? And I mean, figuratively, you got to own the numbers and understand them. And so that process comes with, okay, here's the situation, here's the analysis, this is what you should do, and here's the cost, here's the likely outcome of inaction.
So you talked about private equity. So when private
Mhm.
equity has it down, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I get something every day, if not every day, every other day, wanting to buy, create tailwind, right?
Yeah.
Most of it's BS, but let's just say if I engaged one of those people, which just to let the audience know, I never have, and I won't because I'm not interested in that. But
Right.
if I did, and it was a legitimate PE firm, they would just start to take me through their process. They
Yep.
have a process,
Yeah.
right? And at any point in the process, my company doesn't fit with what they're wanting to buy, I'm out, right? Now, when you go buy a business, meaning the audience, where's your process? You don't have one. So you go to your friends, and we say, go to the people that have what you want. They have a process. So you got to learn their process.
Yeah.
Then you got to try to implement their process. And you got to hope, or you get them involved, all of these things. It's all based on hope. But
Right.
what I love about what you're doing is this is based on facts.
Data.
And all I want is the facts. I'm not in love with this farm. I'm not in love with the goat farm in Tennessee. Would I like to buy both of them if they're making money? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to fall in love.
Right.
So, I need analytics so that I don't fall in love. Or if I do fall in love, I fall in love with the analytics. I fall in love with the numbers, right?
Right.
Like, dang, do they realize what they have here? They underpriced this thing. That's what I wanted to say. Blair, it's fascinating what you guys are doing. It's amazing. And when you go to your website, so it's Breva, BREVA.ai.
That's us.
And I'm telling you, if you're running a business out there and you don't go to that website and don't at least check it out, then I don't know what to tell you, because we're going to give a little demonstration here in a second. And I'm just telling you, I want this now. I mean, I as soon as if I didn't have an appointment right after this, I would just tell you, send me the bill, and I'm going to tell you that. Just how do I sign up? I want to sign up, because this is going to help me make millions of dollars in the next 5 years. I'm just telling you, audience, when I see something that's going to help me make a lot of money and make my life easier, I'm in. I'm in. All right.
It'll do your bookkeeping, because everybody loves bookkeeping, right? And
Exactly.
do you remember the monster.com ad? I want to file all day long. I want to do bookkeeping all day long, right? Said absolutely nobody.
So here's a funny story, Blair, and this is I don't think my bookkeeper listens to the show, so we're going to be safe here. Is what's supposed to happen is I have these different companies.
Yep.
And they all have P&Ls at the end of the month, right?
Yeah.
Right. And they're all done on time. I'm just kidding. And then my bookkeeper consolidates them into a personal P&L.
Yep.
Okay. Because I want the numbers, right? And then she's supposed to have that to me by the 15th of the following month. In 5 years, how many times have I had it on the 15th of the following month?
Yeah, I'm going to go 0.
It's 0. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So also, this is how people used to buy golf clubs. Okay.
Yeah.
They would go and they'd go, hey, Titleist just came out with a new driver. And you'd go, oh, that's really cool. Man, it's pretty. It's brand new. Nobody else has it. And it comes with this shaft. And you want extra stiff or stiff, right? That's it. Okay, and you get out and you hit it and you go, oh, that wasn't that good. That was $700, $600, whatever they are. And I need a different one. And you would just go, well, I guess I need a different one. And you have 14 clubs in your bag. So when did you ever get dialed in? Never, right? So now what they have is they have a launch monitor. It could be TrackMan, could be Foresight. Both of them are great. PGA Tour players use both of them. PGA players do not hit a ball on the range without that.
Yeah.
Why? Because data is powerful. Data is gold.
Yep.
If I'm standing up there and this is worth $3 million this tournament, I need to know how far that ball is going to go.
Yeah.
This is going to do that for you. This is your launch monitor for your business. Hey,
literally, be great.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Is this the right driver for me? Before you buy it.
Right. Or maybe I should be hitting the 3-wood.
Maybe I should just hit the 3-wood and be happy being in the fairway.
Right. Yeah. Landed in the shorter grass. I struggle with that. But, we've interviewed 15,000 businesses at this point. And we've taken those insights into training our models. And we've interviewed lots of other organizations too, coaches, advisors, business. Our two co-founders both teach entrepreneurial finance at Duke. We've trained our models based on the needs of small businesses and tons of data. And then it gets really contextualized to that individual person. And you're absolutely right. So, nobody has the same swing. So, stiff, extra stiff, do you need that extra half an inch? What angle, do you need a 9-degree driver? Do you need an 8-degree, a 10-degree, right? And it all depends on you. So which one's the right? And that's contextualized data and contextualized answers.
Yeah. Yeah. Guessing is hoping, and hope is not a strategy.
Not a strategy.
Right? Yep. It's you hit the 8, you hit the 9, you hit the 10.5, you see which one spins the right amount, then you change the shaft, you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again, and you go, you know what? For my swing speed and my club path and everything else, that's about as efficient as a driver gets based on the numbers. Okay, that's my driver. Then you pay $500-$700 once instead of 4 times over the season, and you're frustrated and you can't play golf worth a crap.
And you're making better decisions.
And then guess what? All of a sudden, you're not a 12 handicap, you're a 4 handicap, because the stuff you're using, you know how to use it and you know what it's going to do. Right. So would you rather be a 12 handicap or a 4 handicap when it comes to running a business? I want to be scratch. I want to be a +7.
But at least improving, right? So, I mean, even if you're starting at a 32 or whatever it is, at least you're heading in the right direction.
Progress.
And in your Q&A, you said, and kind of referenced it before, you don't have to hit a home run on every one. You just need to be hitting over 500. And then with training, you start improving that score. And so I'm an optimist, right? So let's even aim a little higher. So if we start using analytics for transparency and certainty in the acquisition, let's make sure we're acquiring the right ones that fit our profile, whatever that is, and know exactly what we're acquiring. And then let's use, tools to manage that effectively moving forward, right? And let's upskill the manager to make sure that the manager is talking, right? So, I mean, financial reports is a great one. So Bree will categorize those transactions and produce your financial reports, even projections moving forward. So your example with your businesses, your bookkeeper will get accurate and timely financial statements. And then your bookkeeper can, have the time and are accurate. Balance sheets, they kind of need to balance. That seems to be important.
Yeah.
And I bet one of the things that the bookkeeper's working on is not always getting accurate information.
Yes, that's a challenge, and it's like there's not a month that goes by that she doesn't want to get rid of one CPA because they just won't get the information. And guess what? This time of year, you're not getting stuff, or not this time of year, but like certain times of the year, you're not getting stuff fast. All
Yeah,
right, so
Mark.
let's dive into this, Blair. Let's
Yep,
take this thing for a test run.
let's do it. I am going to call Bree here, and give me 1 second. I'm going to change my microphone.
Sounds good.
Oh, it's not letting me switch mics while we're recording.
Uh oh. You're beyond my tech capabilities already.
Yeah, let me.
Hello.
Hey, Bree. Hey, Bree.
Great to hear from you about Payberry. Can you tell me? I'm here to help. Could you please share a bit more about what you'd like to know regarding Payberry?
Can you hear me, Jim? Can you hear
Yes.
her? Okay.
Yeah.
Let, let me start over. I'm going to call her on speakerphone. And
Okay.
Hello, it's Bree. How are you doing today?
Hey, Bree, it's Blair. I'm here with my friend Jim Oliver, and we're on the podcast I mentioned before. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, Blair and Jim. I'm Bree, a small business finance coach created by Breva. I love helping small business owners navigate their financial questions and concerns. Whether you're looking for insights on managing cash flow, understanding financial ratios, or anything else, I'm here to provide support and guidance. I'm excited to be part of your podcast today. What would you like to discuss?
So I know Jim would like to learn more about the infinite banking concept. Can you explain that to him?
Absolutely, Jim. The infinite banking concept is a financial strategy that involves using whole life insurance policies with personal banking systems. Essentially, you can build cash value in these policies over time and then borrow against that cash value to finance personal expenses or investments. The idea is to control your money more effectively, using the cash value within the life insurance policy to fund your needs, like buying a car or investing in a business, while the policy continues to grow. It's a way to create a cycle of funding and repaying yourself, allowing for potentially tax-advantaged growth and access to your money when you need it.
Hey, Bree, I got a specific question. Can the infinite banking concept help me lower my cost of capital?
Great question, Jim. The infinite banking concept can indeed help lower your cost of capital in a few ways. By using the cash value from your whole life insurance policy, you can borrow money at a lower interest rate compared to traditional loans, which can reduce your overall financing costs. Additionally, since you're borrowing against your own policy, you're essentially paying interest to yourself instead of a bank.
So,
Also,
hey,
as you
Bree,
receive money,
I've got a question about that. Will lowering my cost of capital help me improve my cash flow management?
absolutely, Jim. Lowering your cost of capital can definitely have a positive impact on your cash flow management. When your borrowing costs decrease, you have more money available each month, which can improve your cash flow. This extra cash can be reinvested into your business, used to cover expenses, or set aside as savings for unexpected costs.
So,
It
Bree,
creates more flexibility.
that's
It
fantastic.
looks like
I really appreciate this. Let me call you back later.
Of course, Jim, I'm really glad I could help. Remember, I'm just a call away whenever you have more questions or need assistance. Have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to chatting again soon.
Thanks, Bree.
Wow.
Kind of cool, isn't it?
Very cool. And she nailed infinite banking. I mean, made it simple and I love what she said about while your money is growing, tax advantage. And people, it's like just trying to like it's trying to make yourself more efficient, right? It's your
Right.
business more efficient, your time more efficient. And if our lives are measured on this earth in time, then the more time that you have, the more life you have.
Yeah.
And that's why we preach financial freedom, because I hate when people say, man, I'll tell you what, I'm working 16 hours a day. I'm doing, and if you're doing that temporarily because you're building something, okay, I get it. Okay, I'm not
Yeah.
criticizing that. But people that are working for, an accounting firm or consulting firm, and that's what they're expected to do, a law firm, 16 hours a day, I'm telling you, you're doing it wrong. Okay, because
Yeah.
especially if you're over 20 something, you're 20 something, then you're suffering, you're learning. Suffering is learning. Okay, and when
Yeah.
you're in your 20s,
Right.
suffer what you want. But when you get to
Yeah.
be 40, 50, and you start to see friends get illness and disease because of stress, then you're doing it wrong. Okay, like my life is not stressful, thank God. And um, uh, but I also use every tool that I can get. And so tell me how you work. Like somebody like me, I'm interested. I want to
Yeah.
get Bree. I want Bree to be on my phone thing. What do I do?
So there's a link right on Breva.ai where you can sign up. You can send me an email, Blair, Blair at Breva.ai as well, and we can get you information and how to sign up. It's a really easy process. So probably takes maybe 20 minutes to set up. You get the data that we need principally from a Plaid integration, so we can build all those cash flows from from the transaction record. We can also take in written documents or like tax records and stuff like that and scan those in. But most clients do it through Plaid. I, and I tell you, I think our workforce is about to change. And to your point about ownership, and AI is going to drive that change. I mean, it's like the industrial revolution, kind of the office revolution that sent people into the big cities and the offices. AI is going to automate a lot of those tasks, and we're already starting to see it. Right, we're starting to see it in consulting. We're starting to see it in technology, and it's going to hit out other areas too. And I think that the workforce is going to get more towards small businesses and
Yeah,
ownership. And it may be 3 or 4 side gigs that turn into a main gig, whatever it is. But as kind of the traditional office jobs start going away, people are going to have to fill that in with actual ownership. I love what you said about stress. Let's take knowledge and information takes the anxiety away to a
yeah,
large degree, right? And so that education, that training part, that's what gives people confidence. Analytics, support, that's what gives people confidence to make that jump into ownership and on how they're going to be successful in ownership, right? So that, I absolutely agree. Let's take that as much stress as we can out of there.
So what I love is like again, we just talked about this, but let's say you wanted to drop 20 pounds, okay,
Mhm.
or you wanted to gain 10 pounds of muscle. It doesn't really matter. There's a system on how to do that, right?
Right.
Now, the problem is that some people would tell you you got to do intermittent fasting. Some people tell you it's just energy in, energy out. Some people tell you eat 200 grams of protein a day. All of those things work to some degree,
Right.
right? But what works best for you, and having a system that you can stick to.
Yeah.
I'm not criticizing these programs, but I've never been a fan of like 75 hard or carnivore diet or something like that, because that's just temporary.
Right.
75 days, yes. Am I going to go do 2 workouts a day, one outside, one inside? No, I don't care about those rules. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I want to work out every day. I want to do this. I want to build muscle. I know that I have to have a calorie surplus to build muscle. That's
Yep.
scientific fact. So, like I know that. But if I don't do it and I still expect those results, then I'm hoping that I came up with some special formula and I'm only eating meat and cheese and that's going to help me somehow build muscle. It won't.
Well,
You might think it will, and you might feel good for a few weeks till your body says, hey, I'm missing this fat and I'm missing these carbs or whatever. Your body needs all of that stuff to some degree. And so, and if your hormones are screwed up, then you could do all that stuff anyway, and you're not going to get results.
Yep.
And so you go to Breva.ai, and look, I already put in there. I filled out the form. It's already done. I get distracted during the interview, but I needed to do it because I got a noon appointment right after we record here. And I'm going to I don't want to be ADHD and forget this for 2 days. So
I won't let you, by the way.
That's right. So,
Yeah.
all right. Blair, I'm super excited that you've been on the show. I'm super excited that you've shared. I want to have you come back because, let's give this a few months or a couple months. And then I'm going to get some people. If you're in the audience and you contact Blair and his team, then I want you to send me feedback and tell me how it's helped your business. I'm thinking of 10 guys right now that are on our live Q&A all the time that need to talk to you. And because these are guys that have one business, 5 businesses, they're right in that sweet spot and they want to acquire more. When you have a business that doesn't require you to be there, you get 100 of them. Right? I mean, you're not self-employed. You're actually the owner. Yep. And you hire people to run those businesses. And then how do you expand? Well, you use this system to tell you, is the thing that you're trying to buy, is the market right? Is this right? Is your business duplicatable? Is it worth expanding? Again, don't fall in love, just use the facts, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, but Heather's probably looking at the time and saying, well, what the heck are we doing here? So let me wrap this episode up with saying that we're going to have more episodes or workshops or something, because I want to get to the audience and the everyone out there that infinite banking, if you're going to do infinite banking and you have this to tell you, everybody wants to know, what are my books look like with infinite banking and use this.
It'll build the projections, literally.
I don't care if you don't own a business,
right?
You can still use this for infinite banking. I already see this. This is going to be huge in infinite banking. You can't tell anybody else about this, Blair. No, I'm
just you. It'll be our secret.
No, and the thing, audience, I'm completely kidding, because I want everybody that would be doing infinite banking to understand this. All right, Blair, before I just keep going on and on and on, let me ask you 2 questions to kind of wrap this up. First question is, what's the best advice anybody's ever given you?
Yeah, I'm going to go with kind of a little bit of an amalgamation of advice, but see the world in how you can instead of seeing the world in how you can't.
Love it.
And I am a fundamental optimist, an eternal optimist, and an abundance mentality person. And so when I see something, I see it on how I can get there. And then I can figure out if the juice is worth the squeeze or not. But at least I know the path forward.
So I love what you said. You said, when I can see it. Okay. Yeah. So I talk to people about vision all day long. And people have a hard time, and you know this because I know you're talking to people about vision.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the hardest things for people to come up with, because they have this doubt in their mind that they can't really have what they want, right?
Yeah.
And that's because society and the noise out there has told you can't have it. And so I'll give you a perfect AI example. I wanted to have abs by the time I was 60, but then I moved it up to January 1 of 2025, right? And I wanted to put on X amount of muscle. So I found this AI program that I could tell make my lats a little bit bigger, make my shoulders a little bit bigger, my arms a little bit bigger, lose some fat around the waist, and so I can see my abs. And it showed me a 60-year-old version of me exactly the way that I wanted to be, my vision, right?
Yeah.
I have it on my phone. I sent it to my trainer. I sent it to the girl that I was dating at the time. I sent it to everybody. I said, this is my vision. So my trainer a couple months ago said, Jim, you look just like the AI person. Now, she's kind, I think maybe 90%, but you know what? 90% all day long, I'm winning.
I'll take it. And then, where do you want to go next? So I'll tell you something. I started my career as an Army officer. I did ROTC in college, and the military has a great indoctrination for young officers for tactical analysis. And it's see the battlefield through the enemy's eyes. And if you think about it and apply that to problem solving and vision, see where you want to be, right? And then work backwards from there.
Yeah.
And that definitely ties in and tied into this, figure out how you can instead of how you
totally,
at least to me.
So you know what I love about what you just said? Because here's the key. Once you have that vision in your head and it's clear, is like now you got to start today being grateful for what you're going to have.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Right? Because gratitude is the most powerful force on earth. So you can't be grateful and angry. You can't be grateful and sad. You can't be grateful and wallowing in your own crap. Okay. Gratitude is gratitude, but you got to be grateful. Hey, thank you that I'm less than 8% body fat, that I have 10 more pounds of muscle. I feel so much stronger. Isn't it cool that my biological age is going down from 60 to 61? Wow. I'm going into my 40s. Like I'm grateful for what I'm going to have, right? Yeah. And then every day you have to say how grateful you are for what you're going to have, because then you're going to have it.
Yeah.
Right. So, all right. So next question. We're in so much alignment on all this stuff. Is if God came down from heaven, Blair, only allowed you to retain the knowledge that you've received from one book, what would that book be?
And I'm going to go super nerdy on this one and go, and it may be a collection here, but I'm going the Lord of the Rings.
Love it.
And so life is an epic quest, right? And there's ups and downs. So first off, choose carefully the path of light or darkness here. Build a team of allies with diverse skill sets to help you through that epic quest.
Yeah.
Set the goal, see the vision, figure out how you're going to get there. There's going to be course corrections, right? There's going to be changes in your path, but keep that vision in mind and rely on your band there to help you on your quest.
I love that because, in the movie, he's got a quest, right? Yeah. And there are different people that come into his life at different points. Some help, some are trying to kill him. And, it's such a true thing in life. And if somebody asked me that question, Blair, and I've mentioned this before on the show, but I would say Jonathan Livingston Seagull would be the book.
That's good.
And here's why. It's one simple lesson. Yeah. Is I grew up really poor. I grew up in foster care. I grew up in poverty. And everyone in my neighborhood acted like that's just where we stay. That's, it's just all these rich people. They're unfair. They're unscrupulous. They got lucky. That all these things was the message. That was the noise.
Right.
And so you just stay a damn seagull and just fly and crap and do whatever seagulls do, eat. Right.
Right.
And Jonathan Livingston Seagull says, I don't want to do that. Yeah. Right. I want to do tricks and I want to do all this other. I want a better life. And in that one message, it's probably the only book I read in school is of Mice and Men too. All of the short ones, but I got messages out of them. Right.
Yeah.
And that message was, I don't have to stay in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right. I don't have to stay in LA. I left LA when I was 18. I've never been back to live. And I wouldn't, well, I'd never say wouldn't, but it would be a lot would have to change. But I love that. I love that book. I love, or the quest. Like your quest. Because by the way, if it was in the beginning of the book, he's on a quest. Oh, he got what he wanted, and end of the story. How fun would that be?
No.
That's not interesting at all.
No. And to your point, he didn't want to stay a seagull.
He didn't want to stay a seagull.
He had some trepidation on the whole thing, but at some point he was like, I'm not staying a seagull.
It's the same story, right? It's just a different path of the story. But the whole thing that makes the story, the book so epic, or the whole is all the things that happen.
Yeah.
And you have to learn to love that.
Yeah.
Right? If you're trying to lose weight, you got to learn to love to eat. Like, hey, you know what? I realize when I eat quality meat, vegetables, and fruits, after a few days, I feel better.
Yeah. I eat food instead of chemicals.
Yeah, and I sleep better, and I'm in a better mood, and all these things. And you go, wait a minute, that's pretty cool. And then somebody comes along and wants to give you a cheeseburger. I mean, there's all kinds of things that happen to you in your life, but you got to learn to love the process.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think it's Mike Tyson who said, you gotta fall in love with the shit. Like you gotta fall in love with the stuff that sucks.
Yeah.
And in that quest, it's like you got to fall in love with the danger. Like, hey,
There's risk.
A seagull to being an eagle by just and it was like this easy transformation. Like, by the way, that's not fun. And if you were born, I have a friend whose family, they're billionaires, right? He was born on the 26th mile of a marathon. He's got 0.2 of a mile to go in his life.
Right.
But by the way, he was born there. The furthest he can go is that 0.2.
Yeah.
Right? Now, does anybody want to hear that story? Nobody. But how about the person that had both their legs amputated and they couldn't even walk, and then all of a sudden they were walking, then they were jogging, and then they were running, and then they ran a marathon? That's the story you want to hear.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Right? That's interesting.
That is.
Everybody that talks about stories, it's like you have a character who has a dilemma. And if they win, then everybody's saved. If they lose, the world ends. And it's like, but it's the threat of the world, and they have a dilemma. And so like the same as you just said about the Lord of the Rings book. It's this makes me want to go back and read that again, actually, now that you said that. All right. So
maybe not a short one there, but there's quest and there's ups and downs, but you gotta, keep focused, right? Keep focused on your goals and how you're going to get there, and make adaptations. That's okay too. Yeah.
I'm going to end this with the one last thing, because we both talked right before that we're both into peptides. So there's a new peptide. It's newer to me. It's called like SLU 332 something, right? And it tricks your muscles into think they're working out all the time. And I can't remember. There's a technical term for that. And it's going to help you get leaner. Okay. Anybody out there, it's going to say it's experimental. That's just because Big Pharma makes them do that. So I started taking it. I gained 9 pounds. And it says it will make you hold on to water, then your body's going to release it because of what it does to your muscle. I've referred 2 other people to take it. They've quit because they gained 5, 10, 15 pounds, whatever it is. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Now, the whole thing is that I said, you know what? Okay, it's just water. There's no way I've gained 9 pounds in a week. I'm eating the same stuff. So then all of a sudden I'm leaner, and they're going, what are you doing? What are you doing? I told you what I'm doing. But you quit.
Yeah.
You had some adversity. You had some suffering, and you quit.
Maybe the wrong metric. Maybe it's not about body weight. Maybe it's about composition.
Yeah. Maybe it's about put your clothes on, and if they're getting looser, then you're going the right direction.
That's right.
I want it to get tighter. I want to get the arms. I want the arms like the sleeves that sit here.
Yeah. If you're tighter up here, not around your waist, that's good, right? That's what I want.
You get new challenges. Like I never thought about like, hey, I need more slim cut golf shirts.
Right.
Now I'm like, yeah, this is just too big in the arms, or too big in the belly. This is for somebody who's more square shaped, right?
Yeah,
so,
right.
Blair, I really, really enjoyed having you on. Audience, I know I say this sometimes, like, you got to go check this out, see if this is right for you. How could this not be right for you?
Yeah, please do. Blair at Breva.ai, BREVA, or www.breva.ai, Breva.ai. Look us up, send me an email, hit me up on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
And we're going to do some more stuff together because I love what Blair is doing. I love what his team's doing. And we need to bring this to the audience and the infinite banking community. And I'm just super impressed. And I love the ownership part of it. Like, you're taking ownership, you're making that shift, the new book, Owner Shift, to becoming the owner of your life, not the consumer. And we're going to wrap it up like we always do, audience, with some of the greatest words that you'll ever hear. And it's the strangest secret. I almost said the magic of thinking big. That's important too. But the strangest secret, and Earl Nightingale, because whatever you think about, you will become. We'll see you next week.
Here's the key to success and the key to failure. We become what we think about. Now let me say that again. We become what we think about.
Thanks for listening to the Breakaway Wealth podcast. Be sure to subscribe to this show wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. If you want to start increasing your wealth building ability right now, go to community.createtailwind.com to join our free online community and get access to free, in-depth training designed to help you build real, lasting wealth. See you next week.